guys, what's up? And welcome to another episode of What's the Reality? Today I have one of my favorite people and an incredible guest from Love is Blind Season 5. Lydia is here. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm surviving.
Well, surviving beautifully, might I
Thank
say.
you. Thank you.
So you reached out to us because you wanted a safe space to kind of share your news and your updates. First of all, I'm so honored that you chose me and What's the Reality to share
Of
your news and give us an
course.
update on your life. That means a lot that I can provide that safe space for you today.
Yeah, of course. I consider part of the Love is Blind family. And I
Yeah.
was like, what a better safe space than this.
Yeah. So can you catch me up on like what you've been up to since Love is Blind?
Well, life since Love is Blind has been tumultuous.
Tumultuous. Since Love is
Yes.
Blind, Season 5.
Yeah, since season 5, there's been a lot of grief, heartbreaks, a lot of growth.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm so proud of my strength and what it keeps proving to be my resilience in life. I feel like now is the time to actually like speak my truth and come here and be honest with my sister.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
And I appreciate that. I know this is like a very vulnerable time for you. Do you feel ready to share with me and everyone else
Yes,
your
I
updates
am.
and what's going on?
Yes, I'm ready to speak my truth. This is not to bash anybody. This is not a session to bash anybody, but I wanted to share with the world. I've been quiet for too long, not necessarily because I didn't have anything to speak of, more because I wasn't ready for other people's opinions and judgment. And now I'm ready. And I have decided that I filed divorce against Milton.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Nobody ever wants to hear that. Ever, ever, ever. What made you come to this decision?
It wasn't one thing.
Yeah.
It was a layer of situations and things that just kept piling it up. When I asked him or told him, hey, I'll let you know when the divorce papers are ready, his response was, I'm not going to sign the papers unless there's an NDA. And that said enough for me to know that I needed to share my truth and my experience, because what I've been suffering in silence has been too much for me to be quiet and keep quiet. I said a lot of things because all started very early during our marriage. At the beginning, everything was beautiful. Everything was perfect. It was a fairy tale. And he showed me the kind of love that I've never received before. He loved me for who I was. And that was my premise of being on the show, being loved for who I was and not be called too much. And now I am called too much. I got here today and I stepped in the same place I stepped in the airport 3 years ago before I filmed the show. And now I'm here 3 years after announcing my divorce. It's not easy. Again, this is not a bashing session against anybody. This is just my chance to speak my truth for me. And for other people that always reach out to me and tell me that I'm an inspiration, I feel that it was very hypocritical of me not share this with the world when they have been so transparent with me and telling me, hey, Lydia, thank you for sharing your love story and for telling me that I'm not too much to stay in a marriage where I was called too much. As I said, it has been a layer of things. Our first argument was because of a woman that he had dated in the past. And he wouldn't cut her off. She will be like very insistent, and I consider very disrespectful towards our marriage. And he wouldn't cut her off. He kept giving me excuses. There was this one night that we were moving and he was already like very uneasy with me, and I felt like very like he was being very mean towards me. I felt very like I don't know, sidetracked by his behavior that day. And I opened his computer up and I saw an exchange with one of his best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in those text messages. He said his best friend literally sent him a picture of this woman.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh yeah, she's been all around this dick lately. She has me unsending messages, and the one that hurt the most, I want to fuck that person." When I saw that, my heart went to the floor. I felt like betrayed and disrespected. And then I remember calling him and telling him, "How long has it been that you want to fuck this person?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, What are you talking about? And long story short, he basically was at first, he was like, "No, I would never jeopardize our marriage or anything like that." But then the next day he switched up very quickly and said, "Oh, it's because you were going through my things."
Blamed you.
Yeah, he flipped it on me. And that's how boys talk.
Yeah.
That's how boys talk. I'm like, you're married.
Right.
What would happen if I would send a message like that?
Right. I'm just trying to get a kind of like a play out of the timeline. When did
This
that
was like
happen?
6 months after we said I did.
6 months after your marriage.
October 2022.
Okay. So then you confront him. He switches it up on you. And then how do you get past that? Because that's what, 2 years
We were doing
3 years
couples
ago?
therapy.
Okay.
And at the time, I didn't feel like the therapy was working. But I was like, maybe it's me. Maybe it's like, and we had a long conversations, very extensive conversation. He's like, well, it's an invasion of privacy and blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
Invasion
like
of
her.
privacy is the last.
Let's say.
Is that if that's what you're doing in your
Yeah.
privacy, I'm here to invade it. What are we talking about?
Exactly. That's like how you're behind my back.
What are you talking about?
If you're acting like this behind my back,
Right.
like of course I'm going to invade it. And at the same time, it's like, this is the same girl that he had like written a love letter to and ripped apart and kept in a shoebox in our apartment. And I've asked before, because I don't consider myself a jealous person unless you give me motives to.
Mm-hmm.
Once you give me motives to, I'll become a detective. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because like my gut instinct is so clever.
Yeah.
I mean, it never fails me.
Yeah.
And when it fails me is because I haven't trusted, because I don't trust myself in that moment or that situation. I'm like, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm letting people's opinion more than anything tell me that I'm right or wrong.
So how did couples therapy help get you to like get past that, or did you get past that?
It really didn't get past that. I think it was more of like, I tried to forgive and forget and see moving on. Like, hey, I made a commitment to this man. And I was telling myself like, wait, it wasn't physical. Like he didn't do anything physical. Like maybe he'll learn his lesson. Fast forward to our ceremony in Puerto Rico. This person reached out to him again and he responded. And I was like, he was in the shower. And as soon as he came out, I was like, I looked through your phone because I had a gut instinct. And he's like, but I told you. I'm like, I'm telling you that I did. I'm not denying it. Why are you responding to her text messages? Oh, you can see I didn't say anything wrong. I'm like, why you're not blocking her?
Right.
It took him like a year later to block her. And it was like, this is insane. Later after that, his major complaints about me, because he had complaints about me, was that I was nagging him all the time, that I disrespected him by wearing my swimsuits, by sharing my, like, I was looking for understanding and comprehension of who he is, right? Beyond that, what I've seen and what I experienced through the show and our marriage. And I always recurred to his family because I was like, who better than them?
Right.
And he didn't like that. He didn't appreciate that.
Right.
Are these
new problems that arose before, like, he never mentioned this prior. It's just
No.
after you
We
became the
even- we
detective, he started finding
Yes.
issues.
Yes. And he's like, almost like, well, in front of you, I'm going to act like this. And then behind you, this is. He has never, I don't believe, and I don't feel he has hold himself accountable.
And I can feel that. On your season, you had some initial hesitations about your age gap. And then when we saw Milton's family and some of the fans expressed concerns as well, did you think the age gap kind of played a role in the split?
I don't believe it's the age gap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was the numbers. I think it was a matter of emotional availability and maturity, support, and communication. The lack of. That was not there. Maybe the internet was right. Maybe he wasn't ready for marriage. I think he wanted to be ready for marriage, but I don't really think that he was ready to be a husband.
And that showed its face around the 6-month mark.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
It started showing up in little pieces and pieces. And then after that, because I was not the only instance, unfortunately, I just started feeling like I was losing my spark myself. I remember him complaining about me cussing too much in front of his family. Like I would say shit or something like that. And he would literally like scold me in front of everybody. Lydia, watch your mouth. And I'm like, you're not my father.
Yeah.
And it was just things like that. It kept like making me feel small. And later on, when it was my birthday last year, he was playing Halo. He was on his game all day. I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that. 0 stars. Halo, I do not recommend you. I think it also like take out of our quality time.
I can imagine.
Yeah. He just immersed himself in playing the game and he would not care.
Ew.
It had no self-control. So
Yeah.
it was like, it was very bad. And then
That was
one
on your
day,
birthday. You
yeah,
played
that was my
Halo all day,
birthday
yeah.
weekend. And I invited some friends over because I was going to do like a pool party situation. And he didn't help me at all. He was just playing his game. He cleaned the guest bedroom, but that's it. And then my friend was actually helping me. She was like, okay, I'll go pick up the food. I'll do this. I'll do that. And he was just playing Halo and invited his friend over. And he was just there. Then I went downstairs to the pool and everybody was like, well, where's Milton? Where's Milton? And he's like, I'm playing upstairs. I keep telling him to come downstairs, but he finally did. And then he was like in this like attitude towards me, like very evasive, non-affectionate. And I was like, what's wrong? And there was alcohol in the system. Like we were drinking. I was trying to have a good time, but I was feeling miserable. I was also struggling with my health. I didn't know what it was. I know I had depression and anxiety because I've been in therapy for 5 years. So I know that where my body is and when my lows are very lows, but I couldn't find what was causing it because I was like extremely fatigued and I had all of this range of symptoms that later on I got a diagnosis for. But at this moment, I didn't have one. And I remember going upstairs after the pool party and I was like, hey, what's going on? I don't want to talk now. And he went to the guest bedroom to sleep. And I'm like, Milton, please just talk to me. No. And I just felt like so shut off and so alone. And I was like, and I had a full panic attack and meltdown. I was going to take a shower. So I was naked in the kitchen, literally crying. And he came out and it's like, if you keep doing that, I'm going to call the police because you're crying too loud or whatever. I'm like,
what?
I was like, this makes no sense. So I went to the shower and then I went back to him and he was like, well, I never want to imagine my woman as a promiscuous woman because of my swimsuit.
Oh.
So that was another whole fight. And I was like, I tried to like meet him down the middle. Like, you know, like I was like, okay, it's not too chicy. Like I tried to look for, I have a big butt.
I know that's right.
I'm a Latina.
Is he like more conservative than he
Yes,
kind of gave off to be?
Yes.
Because I feel like on the show he was more like relaxed and I'm with, you know,
I'm
like
chill.
Yeah.
AD, I asked him in the pod.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind what your woman wears? Are you a jealous person?
Yeah.
Like I like my swimsuit.
Yeah.
Like, you know how we always women have like my shoes or my purses. My thing is my swimsuits because I look good on them.
Right.
And you here are in my part of my culture, like, as a Puerto Rican and a Boricua, we always love like wearing swimsuits.
Girl,
or
if
like,
you look good,
yeah,
you
if I
got a
look
body
good.
and you want to wear a bikini, that should not be an issue.
Exactly. And he was like, because at first he presented as like, well, I want people to see you more as than what your body. So I stopped posting pictures in swimsuits.
Okay.
That's how it started. But
Well,
then
that's
later,
nice of you.
Yeah. And he was like, well, the exchange was he was going to stop liking women's pictures. And
Hold on.
Hold on. Yeah.
So I don't mean to laugh.
Girl,
so this is the deal. You stop stop posting in bikinis.
Yes.
And he will stop liking other women in bikinis.
Yes.
And how'd that work out?
It didn't.
Oh, okay.
It didn't because I stopped and he didn't.
Well, duh. No shit.
Yeah. It was like, and like,
That's
you know
not
what
really
stopped?
a compromise.
You know what stopped? Him engaging with my posts. And I'm like,
because
this
he
is
weren't
ridiculous.
in bikinis.
No, I wasn't.
He had nothing to like.
Exactly. So I was like, what is this? Like, oh, I don't see the post. Put the notifications on.
I don't see the post is insane.
I'm like, how is that possible? The first
You
person
see
that
everybody except your wife.
Exactly. Make it
the
make
algorithm
sense.
don't work like
no,
that.
In the first week, you know how you see share and the first person probably is your fiance.
Yeah.
Mine was James Milton. And he goes, I don't see your post. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah.
Not a compliment. He would never compliment me.
I'm not going to lie. I did peep that.
Yes. Remember?
I would see on your social media and I'm just like, that he should be in there drooling. He should be first comment.
He should be like, that's my woman.
Wife.
That's my wife.
Yeah. And nothing. I did peep that.
And like you have shared the room with us.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen how he is towards me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like my girl, my woman.
It's not very pleasant. Nope. It's not very pleasant. I'm not gonna lie.
Everybody picked out.
It's pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Remember that dinner?
Yes.
That was very tough.
That was a really rough dinner. So it was like, it's a lot. And then when people around you notice and you're like, well, maybe I can hold into like him being there, right? But it just kept showing up and showing up. Later on, I got my diagnosis.
Yeah.
On September 16, 2024.
2024, okay.
And it kind of felt a relief, but at the same time, a life sentence.
Mm-hmm.
To say that fibromyalgia has ruined my life doesn't even come near to it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of him being my support, he told me, you're not dying. You just have to eat healthy and work out. It would have been that simple. Nobody would suffer from fibro. I wanted a medical leave. I first tried to like talk to him and request a medical leave back in October last year. He was like, fuck no. I'm like, but I have to do what's best for me. I feel burnt out. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out what works with me. It takes an average of a year to figure out the medication, if we figure out a medication. And he would not budge.
I'm sorry. You wanted to ask him or your job? Or
a job, a medical leave, because I'm still a content creator, but I'm also a
full-time
project geologist full-time.
And he said you couldn't request medical leave from your job.
Exactly. He said, fuck no.
And you were just like, okay? Or
I'm like, no, I was like, I fight him on it. I was like, I have to do what's best for me.
Why didn't he want you to take leave?
He said that he was like more like, I think he was thinking about the financial aspect of it. But at the same time, I was like, I'm still going to have some pay.
Yeah.
And I'm doing content creation as well. Yeah. So income is coming.
Yeah, we're going to be okay.
And I'm not telling you, you're not taking, I'm probably not going to be splurging a lot, but, and at the time, he was not even paying my bills. So it was like, it was not him taking over my bills.
No, he wasn't paying the bills and wouldn't let you rest.
Yeah.
So, okay. There was a time where he relocated to Long Beach.
Yes.
And then you became long distance. How long did that last, and how did that affect you guys as a couple?
I want to really, thank God you asked me that,
Yeah.
because that was in an interview and the media really run with it.
Okay.
First of all, we lived together since we met.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Long Beach for a period of 3 months.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
It ended up being it worked wonders for the show, because it was exactly when the show aired. And I was there in Long Beach every other week, and he was in Houston every other week. The most we got to not see each other was 2 weeks.
Okay.
So the long distance thing wasn't really a thing. Actually, in those moments, even though with the fights and everything in between, he showed up. He was like, the man that you saw at reunion, that's how he was. He will literally even put Halo down, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
As soon as, because every day, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Every day there was something new about me. Lies, because there were lies. And there was this time that he was in South and Long Beach, and I was in Houston. I remember FaceTiming, crying hysterically. I was like, I can't. This is too much. This is not true. This is why people are being like this. I don't have a malicious bone in my body.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser. I'm working on it. I'm better than I was before. As much I love, as much I suffer. And he took his phone immediately in the FaceTime, texted his mom, said, hey, run to Lydia. I don't want her to be alone tonight. And that was the kind of man that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
That man used to tell me every night, I cannot wait to marry you. That man, he did something wrong. Baby, I'll treat you better. I have my text message there. From the beginning to now, it's wow, what change.
So what is your relationship with him now? Are y'all friends? Do you talk? Anything?
It's non-existent.
Non-existent. For how long has it been that way?
It's been that way for since March 31st. So about a month and a half. The reason being was I asked for the divorce. He wanted an NDA. And then after that, he told me, when I attempted and I was ready for having a conversation, because he was the minute of, because there was something else that happened. And he was like, you're too fucking stupid and you're an untrustworthy person.
Time out. Something else happened. Is that something you can share?
Yes. So along the period of, we're going to be 3 years married and where we're supposed to be in a 3-year anniversary, May 31st. And I have received in 5 different occasions messages from women allegedly saying that he's pursuing them at bars, paying for women's drinks, heavy flirting, to the extent that I went to a wedding and a girl that I used to be friends with has pictures of him in California flirting with women. And what was allegedly, right? And then what was the cusp and what was the cherry on top was he had a university event. He had it last year, and he told me that no spouses were allowed and that I couldn't be in the hotel with him or whatever it was or not. And I was like, okay. So this year when he went again, I was like, well, maybe he's not. Obviously, I'm not going to ask because he told me no.
Yeah.
But then he was going out every day after the event for the university. And on March 31st, I received a very detailed long email of this woman alleging that he had been flirting with her all night, that he invited her over to the hotel. And she sent me evidence that he called her at 4:12 in the morning and text exchanges with him and FaceTime at 4 in the morning. That was it for me. I was like, I cannot continue, because it wasn't the first time that happened. A month prior that, I had received another message from another girl with the same allegations.
This is exhausting.
And I'm like, first of all, you're a public figure. Why are you doing this?
Right.
do you have any respect for yourself?
No.
Because you have none for me.
Right.
That's clear. And that one, I confronted him, and he flipped it to me.
Of course.
He was like, "Oh, why would you even entertain that? Why you send me that stupid shit when I'm working?" And I took some time for myself, and then we had a huge conversation, and he was just saying all the things that bothered him about me. Swimsuits again. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, dude.
Right.
We just went to Mexico, and I was wearing a diaper of a swimsuit. Like, what else do you want?
Right.
And he's like, well, then like you make poor decisions.
So, okay, let me get this right. You confront him about cheating and women emailing you and texting you and all these things. And he turns around and goes, well, because you wear bikinis, you're a terrible person and a terrible wife.
It sounds silly now you say it out loud, but yeah.
I just want to clarify. That is his reasoning. Or that's his escape from the conversation.
Like exchanging women with numbers, changing numbers with women.
Yeah.
It was nothing. It was like that. He can do that.
He can do that.
Yeah. I'm like, you have a wife.
Yeah. Why did he feel like that was acceptable?
Talk to somebody, talk to your wife.
Yeah.
Like the nagging was me telling him, hey, we haven't spent time together.
Yeah.
You go either play Halo, work, or school.
Yeah.
There's no time for me. I never felt that my marriage was a priority for him.
Did he ever own up to any of it?
None whatsoever.
Was he confronted about what you got on March 31st?
No.
No.
That was it for me.
You didn't confront him about that?
No, he knew about it because the first thing that I did, because we would live with his parents, because we were saving money to buy a house.
How long have you lived with your parents?
Since November of last year, so around 7 months.
Oh, wow. Well, that'll put a strain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically was like, and his parents were lovely. Like his dad specifically, like his mom, like we have a great relationship, but with his dad was the father I never had. And I always say that, and I have repeated this to him, like, you're healing that inner child, that little girl that was disappointed from so many father figures that betrayed her, molested her. And you've done so much. And I think that was also a part of me that wanted to, like, how can I leave them?
Right.
It got to a point that it was like, how can I leave them? Because they're my family here.
Yeah. And they have no idea what's going on in your marriage.
They know.
They know.
They know. They are aware.
Okay.
I can see the difference in culture. I believe like Latinas and also his family is like very military, very straight.
Yeah.
And the day that I received that email, I literally threw the phone and told his dad, he did it again, and had a full panic attack. And he was in disbelief. And then he told Milton when he got home, and he went to my room, and I was like, I'm great. I just learned so much information about you today. And I figured out that I'm on your way, and I want to get out of your way.
Yeah.
I want you to have what you want. And that's clear for me that it's not me. And he was like, why are you talking like that? Like, why are you talking so cryptic? Like, can we have a real conversation? I'm like, I'm just letting you know. And I'll let you know when the papers are ready.
Do you think he was blindsided by you asking for a divorce?
No, because a month prior, I had like literally take time for myself, and I was 2 weeks out of the house. I think maybe he wanted me to just keep continuing with the behavior, but it's like at the same time, it's like love is not enough. I don't believe he loves me.
So when you presented him with the divorce, he didn't like try to fight or anything? He just said sign an NDA?
He said, well, the first thing he said to me when he was like calmed, he was like, well, I'm not going to chase you. He always said that every time, like,
I'm not going to chase you. That just made my stomach drop. No, that's painful.
And I'm like, I know, you have made that clear.
Ooh.
And then when I had that, when I was ready to like, not necessarily have a conversation for him to like, because I knew he was going to flip it on me because he already did it like a month ago.
Right.
Right. So I was like, we were talking about taxes, and then that's when he said, "You're too fucking stupid. You're an untrustworthy person." Like, now it's obviously that you believe her, and I already been like, the word he's had been. I've been the juror, and I already did the sentence against him, and I was like crying. I'm like, why are you treating me like I'm the one that disrespected you? And the words "too fucking stupid and untrustworthy person" were the last words he spoke to me. And it's like a revolving door in my head.
That's all it just keeps playing over and over.
Because I'm like, how is this the same person that I met at the altar? It's because of the man that I met at the altar that I know that I deserve better. I deserve so much better. And love is not enough. I need to...
Do you think he loves you?
I don't think he loves me. I don't think he loves me because he has given me the silent treatment for the past few months. And if you truly love a person, you wouldn't do this. You will actually hold yourself accountable.
Does he know you're here?
No.
How do you think that's going to go? Are you worried about how it goes?
Of course, I'm human. I'm worried about the public perception. People idolize him because how he was on TV. But I have to do what's right for me. And this is not necessary for a pity party or, I don't know, being a bashing session against him. Because I still love him. Unfortunately, I do. And it's a continuous talk with God. But that's me. And I'm not going to apologize for loving this hard.
Right.
Because that's me.
Right. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Do you think this experience has changed how you're viewing love and commitment?
Yes, absolutely.
In what ways?
That I'm never going to settle for less than I deserve. That love is enough, not enough. That your non-negotiables are truly non-negotiables. And you should respect them. And you should honor them. And that it's okay to leave when things are not right.
Do you regret not leaving sooner?
I think it was now the time. Like, I think constantly I was like worried that I didn't have enough. But there was just so much. I just told you like few instances, but there was just so much, like not being supportive with my fibromyalgia. There was this case and scenario when we were moving, and moving brought the worst out of him for some reason.
I can imagine.
And I had higher movers because he never took the role of actually being
a partner.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember in the show, but I kept complaining about the towels and cleaning after himself. He never did that. It's something as silly, you'd be like, Lydia, but because of that. And it's not, it's like the pile up of me struggling with a chronic illness.
And you can't pick up your towels.
No energy on a daily basis. And you're piling things for me to do. And that day, I went to the kitchen. I was talking on the phone with my mother. And my mom was like, eat something. I'm like, I was having a fibromyalgia flare. Like, I was exhausted. I was dizzy. I was shaking. And when he moves, he wants to throw everything away. I'm like, those are my things. He was throwing my things away. I'm like, why are you throwing away my things? You didn't buy them.
Right.
It's not your money. This was prior to us getting married anyway. So why are you buying? Oh, we're going to our parents' house. To my parents' house, like, we don't need this. I'm like, when we move out, what are we going to do? Buy it all over again? Right. That makes no sense.
Right.
And he started getting very nasty, and his voice started getting louder. And there's the movers around helping us with the apartment. And I believe he felt emasculated because that's what I've heard. And because I told him, I don't like to be cursed at when I'm having a confrontation with you. And he loved to curse. And he's like, well, I have to have an outing or something. And then he's like, so I don't need your fucking tears again. And whatever it's not. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and go. Leave.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Like, you're just making things worse at this matter. Just leave.
Yeah.
And he said to me, Mind you, I'm in the phone. Oh, he's like, hang up the phone. And we're going to have a conversation right now. And I'm like, no, I'm not. My emotions are all over the place. I'm not going to have a conversation with you right now. He said, you're 5 minutes away from me throwing you out on the streets. And I said, what? And my mom heard it. And my mom was like, Lydia Arleen. I'm like, I know, Mom. Let me hang up.
Jesus.
And we had a talk, and he never apologized. To this day, he said that he had the right to say that. It's like, I cannot keep being in a place that I am not wanted because
so
I'm clearly not
hurtful.
wanted.
That is so hurtful.
It's like I'm trying to put back the pieces that he broke. And it's very exhausting because I'm not just dealing with that. I'm dealing with so much more. And there was this instance that my mom came when I was diagnosed with the fibromyalgia. And she saw what's happening. My mom loved him, adored him. And then she came because I felt like so alone when I was diagnosed. And we had a very hefty argument. And he was like, well, are you going to have any emotional control? Because that was his favorite thing to tell me. Because he didn't understand that every time that I cried, it was because I was hurt. I feel like he thought it was manipulation from what I hear from others.
Yeah.
And I'm like continuously reminding him, no, I'm hurt. I'm very hurt. And he says something along the words of, well, I have left women for much less. So that was it for me. I started crying, ran to my mom. And my mom was like, that's it. I'm going to say something. I'm like, Mom, please don't. And she went to him. My mom is 5'3", and he's 6'7". And English is not her first language. So he's looking down on her, and she's like, since I got here, you've been very cruel. And that was like the first time that he saw her on lunch, and my mom arrived like Friday night or Saturday morning or something like that. And he hadn't seen her because he was like out with his friends.
Yeah.
And like he didn't really try to give her the attention that she deserved.
Right.
And she was trying to say the word disappointed. And she was like, in disappointed you in Spanish is like decepcionado. And she was like trying to say that. And he goes, what word are you trying to say? And I looked at him like, she's trying to say that she's disappointed in you. Mind you, my mom never
the restraint.
My mom never
I would have
like
jumped on his back.
and my mom grabbed me and like we went to the other room, and then he left, and then he wouldn't talk to me. And for months, I kept stopping him and telling him like, you're not going to talk about my mom that way. And he goes and said, thank God I'm educated the way I'm educated, because if not, your mom wouldn't have been staying here. She would have been in a hotel. I'm not going to be disrespected in my house. And I was like, first of all, this is my house as well. I pay half the rent. And my mom was not going anywhere over my dead body. And you're not going to disrespect my mother. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me.
Yeah.
But you're not going to disrespect my mother.
No.
One of our last conversations, he back in February, when he was telling me everything that he liked about me, he said that I was always on my masculine energy, and that he believed that for a woman to be feminine, they needed to be submissive. And if that made him a sexist, so be it.
Submit to what?
Exactly.
To Halo? In order to submit to a man, you can't be sitting there playing video games all day. That's a child. What are you submitting to?
Oh, you're killing me. And I responded to him. I was like, you know what? I can be submissive when you show me love, when you respect me, when you care
show up
for
like
me.
a man.
Exactly. And I was like, and I kept thinking to myself, like, Lydia, my femininity goes beyond that. I've always been an independent person. I've always, as much as I love, and I also have my boundaries.
Right.
And that's why I'm here today.
I think his
'cause of
definition of
self-respect.
femininity is
Exactly.
you being a doormat. You not questioning him, you letting him
You
run,
wanted a
rip
yes
and run the
man.
streets. Right. And that's what he wanted. And now because you didn't supply him with that, now you're not feminine. Now you're in your masculine energy. Like, no, because you understand that you have value that took away from him.
Yeah,
Being able to
that's
control
when
you.
he told me that, I was like, okay, our differences are not just miscommunication or
Yeah.
misunderstanding. It's fundamental values.
Yeah. And that's a problem.
That is a problem, a huge one. And I think that once you know that, what else are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And because I tried to attempt to what he wanted. He wanted peace because he was like, oh, just give me peace and respect. I'll give you peace and respect. I stopped asking for things. And and he showed me how little he was going to give me. It's like, I'm not okay with this. So when the second round of that I entertained the message, because it was 5 different women at a different time alleging the same thing. Oh, and also he said like I had made 4 financial decisions. However, he's like every weekend
Right. At the bar.
with his friends.
Do you have any concern about any of these women coming out and corroborating the story? Does that bother you at all?
No. And at the end of the day, it's like they're probably gonna come out.
Yeah.
They're gonna like, oh my God, yes. About that time that she
Do you think it's gonna be more than 5 coming out?
Maybe because it's not like in the same thing over and over. And these are not fake accounts. Like you can see like when it's a fake account.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
These are real legitimate women. And it's like these are the ones that are like feel sorry for me or like feel bad.
Right.
And
right.
like because like all of them were like, Lydia, I just want to be a girl's girl. Like the one that he allegedly invited to the hotel, she didn't recognize him at first. And she claimed allegedly that he was not wearing his ring at first when she saw him. And then when they FaceTimed, she saw the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he allegedly said that it was a Rice ring, the university that I go to, instead of like
your wedding band.
My wedding band. And she's like, wait, marriage is public record. If I Google you, you're not going to appear?
Oh, you're going to see much more than...
And she saw everything. And she told me, and she sent me, and it's true, she texted him and said, oh, you forgot that your beautiful love story was made it on international TV? Don't ever do that. Your wife is like too gorgeous for that. Obviously, he didn't respond to that. But yeah, I'm like, who else is out there saying or like having a similar experience for this?
That's not coming forward to you about it. So would you say it's like mainly his family that kind of kept you around for so long? Because it seems like you had a really close relationship with the family.
And I think like I wrote them letters when I left, and I was like, Dad and Mom, because I call them Dad and Mom.
Ugh.
They're my family here. My mom, like my mother-in-law, literally will go with doctor's appointment with me. His son didn't do it, but his mom will go to doctor's appointment with me. Like James was working, Milton was working, and she will like, hey, I'll go with you, so you don't go solo. And
you're losing a lot. You're not just losing a husband, you're losing a full family.
And I kept telling them, I was like, because they were both more in denial than everything.
Do they want you to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not a rush decision. It has to be made. And I love them so much. And they're my family. And his mom, before I left, she's like, your family, Lydia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want this relationship to end. And they will continue to be mom and pops for me. And I'm very grateful for them. And I'm also grateful for him in the sense of like, he truly loved me. There was a time and space where he truly loved me for being me. We used to play, and that was very fun. We used to play. We stopped doing it. And I hate that we stopped doing it because it was very lovely. Like there was like, you know those game cards that comes for couples and you ask questions. And I remember one night that one of the questions said like, what is the most thing that you love about me? And he goes and says, your emotional and sensitive side, your vulnerability. But it's also the same thing that I struggle the most with. So it was kind of like a love and hate relationship with that. But at the same time, there was moments that he chose to love me for that. And he did things along the marriage that he didn't want to do, like calling me every time he will leave work because he knew I needed that. And it got to a point that I didn't need to tell him that. He will always do it. And those were the things in the small moments that you're like, he's trying. He's putting the effort. He went to therapy. He didn't believe in therapy. We tried couples therapy twice. I think their issues were beyond fixable thing at this point. But there was moments that he showed up for me. And I will always, always say that he took a piece of my heart with him.
Yeah.
And he was the first man to love me.
Yeah.
And that is not something small.
What level, if any, like accountability do you take in the end of your marriage or relationship?
If you ask my father-in-law, I kept saying, I don't know what I went wrong. I don't know what. He's like, it's not your fault. It's easier to blame myself because then I can be like, okay, I did this wrong and I can change it, and not to the benefit of the marriage, but to maybe for other relationship. My fault was allowing things to happen because what you're not changing, you're choosing. And I put a hold to that because I was like, I'm not going to keep choosing, feeling belittled, feeling dismissed, feeling small.
Feeling hopeful that he would change.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew hope was out of the door when he said the line of being submissive. When I received that last email, I was like, there's not anything that I can hold on to. Because once your values are not the same, there's not much you can do.
Yeah. Once disrespect has entered the chat, ain't shit else to say. So, okay, what I'm gathering, because there's been, first of all, I can't even wrap my head around it. I am so sorry that this is even your story.
Yeah.
And two, it just sounds like so much toxic. I don't know, like it just feels very heavy. It feels very dark, and it feels like it's lasted far too long. So you guys are like separated. Are you like are you living on your own again?
Yeah, I'm living with my friend.
Okay.
She has a house, so I'm living with her right now. So we're completely separated.
Okay.
I have filed for divorce.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be this way.
Do you think he would have ever asked you for a divorce? Or you think he would have just kept dragging it through till whenever?
He could have just kept dragging it through.
Yeah.
Because he was very comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like he was very comfortable.
Right.
Like, I'm just giving her the scraps of attention and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that she's in the wrong and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I felt like almost like a puppet in once. And I was like, no, this cannot be it. And I also felt like some sort of, you have your life in public setting, right? Like our life is so public and our marriage is so public. And you see people like, oh my God, if you guys ever split, like I'll stop believing in love. Yeah. Like, oh my God, you guys are so nice, so cute and sweet. And that puts an amount of pressure on you that you're like, I wouldn't ever imagine.
Like you can't let other people down. Yeah,
and
it's
I
not
felt,
about you anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as for me, like, I'm so judgmental of myself. Like, I'm so judgmental of myself that my therapist had to tell me, Lydia, imagine that you, who you are as a person, as a third person, what will you say to her?
Yeah.
I'm like, darn it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. And I got to the point that I need to defend her.
Yeah.
Because she's the most empathetic, loving, caring person I've ever met. And she deserves happiness. I'm reclaiming my power.
Yeah.
I am healing. I am choosing me. I'm trying to deal with my biggest concern right now. That is my health, and focusing everything on me.
What does that look like?
A lot of therapy, tons of therapy, journaling, and doing things that make me happy. Dance it out every now and a while in the room when no one's watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks me crying myself to sleep.
I can see you're leaning on your social media family a lot.
Yes.
I notice that you're posting, and I think you're giving a vision of not just happy all the time.
Yes. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be, I honor myself in being transparent and being vulnerable. And that's what I want to present on my page.
Has that helped you?
Yes, immensely. I have a great following that just are there. They send so many positive vibes, and the haters are gonna come, obviously, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I knew it. They lost a lot." I can already see the storm coming, but I'm gonna continue to remind me who I am. And like I said before, I'm not gonna apologize for loving hard, because that's what I did. I loved hard.
Yeah, and you will receive, unfortunately, the storm, like you said, but there's going to be an army of people applauding you, congratulating you, and pushing you and encouraging you and proud of you for choosing you. And there's going to be, you're going to influence, if this, if anybody, if one person takes away that it's okay to choose yourself, and you coming here and being a brave face and a brave voice. This is scary. This is like real scary shit. Like, this is not.
Yeah, this isn't just, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah. So you have like a lot of family most of your family, a lot of your family is still in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Is it tough going through this like huge life change without having family around?
I get emotional because it is. I have no one here. I have no one in Houston. All my family is in Puerto Rico. Like my biggest support, which is my mother. And to top it all, because when they say when it rains, it pours. My grandfather recently passed away.
I know. I'm sorry to hear that.
And not to be there, to be the support for my mother, is so heartbreaking. I felt so guilty. And my grandfather, like, I was raised for them, and to not be able to say the last goodbye destroyed me. My mom is my everything. That woman showed me how to be strong. And one of the reasons that I am here today is because of her. And my mom always said, I raised you to be a strong woman. I'm not going to lie. I wish that there were days that I just didn't have to be strong and I just live and be.
Right.
But in my life, it's a constant thing. It's a commonality of being strong.
Yeah. And it's like in your marriage, maybe that's the one place I don't want to be strong. Maybe that's the place I want to be vulnerable.
I don't want to be all
and I want to let go, and I want to have my partner hold me when I can't hold myself. And you didn't have that.
I didn't have that. And I was like, well, for that, I'll just be alone. Because I felt alone in my marriage.
Are you friends with any of the girls from the season? Have you talked to any of the women? Does anybody know what's going on?
The only woman that actually knows is Estefania, but you barely saw her on the show. And she's been my person. That girl, I love her. She's been my sister. She has been there for me. She was there when my grandfather died, when my mom called me, when everything happened. Like, she has been my rock. And I don't know where I'd have been without her, because that woman showed up for me in ways that I was like, I would never expect it to be. And she reciprocates the same energy I give her. And that is very rare to find.
But no one else.
So
it's going to be a shock to...
It's going to be a shock to the world.
Yeah. And
that's why also, like you said earlier, like, you're showing this, like, vulnerability in social media is like, I suffered so long in silence that my healing is going to be loud and profound.
I love that. I love that. My heart is like, it's like aching for you, but so proud of you. Like I just.
Thank you for letting me have this space. And I'm not going to lie, I was very nervous at first. And now I feel at peace. And I can see the storm coming, but I'm ready. I'm ready to fight for me.
Yeah.
Because I deserve that. And being in the rock bottom teaches me more than being on the mountaintop.
Only up from here, baby girl.
Yep.
What does the next chapter look like for Lydia?
I believe that everything that's happening right now, and as scary and as draining and as exhausting and all the suffering that is happening, is because there's something so big coming up that I cannot even imagine it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold into that belief and keep healing. There's a lot of healing to do.
Are you staying in Houston?
We'll see where life takes me.
Yeah, you're open.
I'm open.
Yeah.
There's nothing that keeps me back in Houston. So besides my job, right? But yeah, I'm open. I'm open. Wherever the life wants to take me, I'm open.
I love that.
This is the me chapter. And that's why I keep reminding myself, Lydia, this is not your full life. This is just a bad chapter.
Yeah.
And that was not the war. That's just one battle. So keep going, baby.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it. And I'm so proud of myself.
I'm so proud of you
being here and like sharing my experience, sharing my truth finally.
Yeah.
And not being shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think we gave the mics to the right people. I'm really proud of you. I mean, this is not, again, I keep repeating, this is not easy. And I think people forget that because we are public facing and we're on TV.
That we're not human.
We're not human. And you are going through something so real. And I'm just grateful that, one, you saw it fit to share that with me and us here on this platform.
I'm like, who better than Angie? Come on. And I was like, this is perfect. And because I remember always watching your like podcasts and your episodes, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, girl, yes, womanhood, yes, power, yes, everything. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I think the moral of today's conversation is choosing yourself.
Yes.
And I think because it's not just your marriage, it's your health, your future, like everything is depending on you choosing you. And I think it's so powerful that you are being this vocal, this bold, and this open with everyone about something that's happening so personal, like with you and your life and your body and your health. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so as someone that's about to get married,
I know, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. It's just like opening my eyes because no one goes into a marriage thinking divorce, you know?
No, I don't want it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I stayed. And like, I didn't want this for me.
No.
And for so long, I was like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. But I failed at having a marriage. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure as a person.
Yeah, you're not a failure at life at all. And I can't wait till you come back in 6 months and you're just like, remember I told you I was going to do this. And you're just sitting here thriving, glowing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that.
Oh, I'm ready to.
I'm really grateful for you. I love
you,
that you're here. I can't wait to see how you blossom and bloom these next few months and years because it's Lydia's time now.
It's Lydia's time.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, girl. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of What's the Reality. Be sure to follow us on all social platforms at What's the Reality Pod. And I'll see you next week. What's the reality? What's the reality?